So this morning, just observe, just be the knower, the Buddho, aware of this, the state of mind you're in, physically, just contemplating, recognizing the obvious, like the sitting posture. It's like this. So we're not trying to say sit in some kind of, make sitting into some problem, but just be the observer of this body. Sitting is like this. The breath, breathing in and out, the state of mind, like a cursory observation. It's like this, and not judging it, saying it's pleasant or painful, good or bad, but it is like this. This way, composing yourself, collecting yourself, here and now, present moment, putting yourself in this position of being the knowing, the way it is. So just observing the sitting posture. There's 4 postures that we use, 4 ordinary movements of the body: sitting, standing, walking, lying down. So this is just to notice, not to compare sitting or have views about sitting, or if you're sitting in a chair or you're sitting on the floor, whatever. Just notice the body, the pressure of sitting, wherever you're feeling it. So what I'm doing is going to a mindfulness of the body, of the posture, not telling you how you should sit or who's sitting better than who, but it's just being this, opening this attentiveness, attention to the obvious, the simple fact of here and now, the body, its weight pressing on the seat is like this, the spine, the shoulders, the hands, the feet, all this being this observer, this knower. And this is what I mean by Buddho, this awareness, mindfulness. Now the meditation, this type of meditation, Vipassana, means insight, looking into the way it is. So it's not an analytical or judgmental in any way. It's not about how things should or shouldn't be, but the way it is. So usually we're conditioned to pass judgments, critical. You have the critical minds. We've developed this discriminatory ability to see how things should be or shouldn't be, or what is right or wrong, good or bad. But this is just the simple ability of attentiveness, non-judgment, but certainly discerning ability. It's not, in a trance or blinding yourself, but just being in this open, receptive knowing, consciousness, knowing the here and now. So this here and now Dhamma, Paccuppanna Dhamma, is recognize that this is all there ever is in our lives. There's only the present moment. We might live for the future, or we can live in, with past memories, but all this is, whatever you're remembering the past or planning for the future. It's happening now. So this is an obvious truth, but we need to remind ourselves to have this sense of composing, centering in the present. And this is important because even though this is obvious, and simple, it's not how we're conditioned. On personal level, personality, culture, everything tends to propel us into, identifying with past experience, have views and opinions, ideals about how things should be, and hope for the future. Hope or dread, worry, anxiety, all about what might happen, what could happen in the future. So now this sense of centering, composing, surrendering, the sense of relinquishing, surrendering to this present moment, just being in this very simple, natural state of attentiveness. The body's breathing, and the state of mind, what kind of mood, what kind of emotional or mental quality are you experiencing? Do you feel alert, sleepy, bright, dull, happy, sad, contracted, expanded, or whatever? It's not, just being it's like this, rather than trying to make your mind into something, trying to force it or compel it, or just be lost in the mood. Be the knower of the citta, or the state of mind, is like this. So this attitude now, like relaxed attention. So it's not to create tension, like not to force, but this sense of openness, receptivity, relaxed feeling, a sense of being at ease, nothing to do, nothing that you're going to be tested for, or you have to prove anything, but also alertness and attentiveness, so you're not just getting caught in being lax. But it's important to recognize that meditation isn't something to create tension and force and compel and yourself physically or mentally. So it's a kind, gentle process, but persistent, of attentiveness, paying attention to the way it is, in terms of experience here and now. Each one of you is experiencing the body, the breath, the state of mind. It is the way it is. Just notice what you gravitate towards in these suggestions, toward the sensations of the body or the breath. Many of you had a lot of experience with anapanasati, or just awareness of the mood, emotional state in the present. And as you get this feeling of alert attentiveness, then one can, say, move towards one particular focus, say, relaxing the body, just being aware of the sensations that you're experiencing through sitting like this. Pressure, heat and cold, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral sensations. So when I do this, reflecting on the body, for example, my own practice is just thinking like this directs the attention to, say, the sense of the holding the body, if there's any tension in it, in the shoulders or the spine. Just being, not even to try to get rid of tension or to kind of make yourself relax can be counterproductive, can create more tension. So it's learning to trust this ability to this awakened awareness by being aware where you know, if you're feeling tension in the body, then pay attention to it, but not try to change it, but just receive it, be the knower of it, without trying to interfere and make it into something else. This is a way too where tension can release itself. So it's like getting out of the way, your ego, the sense of yourself and what you like and dislike, and just stepping aside from that and just trusting in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha as your refuge. So, like beginning the retreat, the attitude, just notice how you hold that concept of 12-day retreat with Ajahn Sumedho, just those very words, how they affect your mood. You might have dread or expect all kinds possibilities, not being able to use your cell phone or be silent, not eat in the evening. We can create a sense of dread, or we're expecting a lot of suffering or misery, or worrying about, will I be able to survive this retreat? Or maybe you have confidence and you feel this is a great opportunity, but whatever you're feeling, the important thing is to be the knower of it. It's like this. Then the attitude for this retreat is like an invitation and encouragement towards awakeness. It's not an imperative. You're not going to be tested and judged and compared who's the best meditator, anything like this. So it's not for competition or comparison. So the attitude is one of trust, a sense of safety, trust, openness, opportunity. And understanding. So this understanding, Dhamma, knowing reality, awakening to the real, rather than being just a helpless victim of conditioning. Otherwise we tend to be that, merely victims of the conditioning process that we've received in our lives so far. We just kind of caught in that, in ignorance, self-attitudes, fears, habits, good and bad habits, sense of loneliness or separateness, alienation, whatever, the conditioning of the mind is. If we don't open to this in this way, through awareness, then we are victims, more or less helplessly caught in the momentum of habits. So this retreat is constantly pointing at this, to trust this ability that each one of us have to awake and pay attention. So this puts us into this transcendent understanding, it's a discerning wisdom ability that isn't bound by culture or personal identities or conditions. And that's why last evening when it's taking the refuges, 3 refuges, this is what it means. It's like an empowerment or a gift that you're taking on, reminding yourself that this is your refuge, this awareness. Through this simple attention to the present, then we can free ourselves from the kind of enslavement to habits, conditions, thoughts, memories, the conditioned realm in general. The body, the emotions, states of mind, they still operate, but we're no longer victims of habit, because we're looking at the habit rather than being this creature with these habits. This Buddho practice is it's what we all are experiencing now is consciousness. We're conscious beings, separated in form. So we have our individual form, the body, consciousness. These forms are conscious. So we're experiencing consciousness through the form of the body. Now, we tend to interpret this from a conditioned level, cultural attitudes and identity. So my body, my thoughts, my feelings, my habits, my emotions. But now we're not operating from identifying with the body or with anything, but putting ourselves in this open state of pure awareness, pure conscious awareness. Consciousness is not personal, it's not limited, it's not, in my brain or, limited to the form itself. The human body is a conscious form, so we experience consciousness from this point of the limitation of the human form. But consciousness itself is boundless. So that's why in this Buddho practice, this awareness, where this is the traditional way of talking, of taking refuge in Buddha, is putting ourselves in this state of awareness where consciousness with awareness and wisdom operates. And so this is the gift we have as being born in the human form, is that we can do this. We have this reflective, we have this Buddha mind, in other words. They call it in various other schools Buddha nature or whatever. But what it is, the reality of it is this simple ability to tune in to the present. It's conscious, alert, but it's not conditioned, it's not about... It reflects the sense of me and what I like and don't like, but that's not... We're not operating from... we're not here to operate from personal feelings or preferences or habits, but to reflect on them, to be that pure knowing, conscious knowing where wisdom can operate. Wisdom then, in the Buddhist sense of wisdom or panya, is being able to discern and understand reality, know reality, and no longer be just the helpless victim of conditioning, of the force of habit, and of the whatever, and otherwise that's what we tend to do. We just repeat, endlessly caught. As you get older, you can become more rigid, more kind of caught into momentum of habits without any perspective on them. So this meditation retreat is, see it as an opportunity to develop a wisdom ability. That we all have this potential for enlightened awareness, and still, respecting the limitation that we are experiencing through the form, through the body, through the conventions, through the conditioned realm, but no longer just enslaved to those limitations. So in this way, consciousness is unlimited, it's non-personal, but we experience consciousness through limitation, and then that limitation we tend to cling to as a personal identity. So now we're no longer operating from that illusion of being this person, this body, to being this Buddho, this awakened, conscious, informing, educating consciousness with wisdom. Because we are conscious forms, we can still be crazy, and we can go, we can be caught up in anger and jealousy and fear, and just because we're conscious doesn't mean we're wise. But wisdom is what naturally arises, like universal intelligence, through consciousness, and then the Buddhist teachings are conventions pointing to this present moment. They're not for grasping as kind of belief systems or dogmas to prove or disprove, but they're tools to use to direct yourself out of the, to remind yourself not to believe in what you think or feel as in the way that we tend to believe it, if we don't have this awareness and we are not cultivating wisdom. I determined years ago not to believe anything I think, which I found very helpful, because you can't trust what you think. So you're operating now from an intuitive attentive, universal intelligence, Buddho, knowing the Dhamma or the real, awakening to reality.